Dear colleagues, now I give the floor to Colonel Andriy Lysenko, a spokesperson for the anti-terrorist operation, with the latest from the east of Ukraine. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. The terrorists, by way of shellings and direct attacks on positions of the anti-terrorist operation forces along the line of demarcation, try to maximally correct it to their benefit and to broaden the territory they control and to occupy the beneficial positions for further military operations. The Russian Federation continues to play a weighty role in this by delivering armaments, ammunition, and machinery to the territory temporarily controlled by the gunmen. Yesterday, the decision was taken to withdraw Ukrainian military from the new terminal of Donetsk airport, which is completely ruined and cannot be defended. As during the battle, 16 Ukrainian military were wounded and were captured by the enemy. Now the negotiations are going on for their release. The anti-terrorist operation forces still hold the fire depot, the control tower district, and the tarmac, which is also destroyed. Also, our military firmly hold to their positions in Avdiivka and Pispiki. The intelligence says that there's a movement of convoys of Russian machinery, military machinery, on the territory of Rostov region in Russia, in the direction of Russian-Ukrainian border. In particular, there's a great number of assault armored vehicles and infantry armored vehicles, new tanks, self-propelled artillery, also lorries and fuel tanks, as well as multiple rocket launchers Grads. Most of the vehicles do not have their license plates. However, some of them do carry license plates from the western, eastern, central, and southern military districts of Russian Federation. Because of the shellings by terrorists from mortars of control crossing point Gnutove, the crossing of individuals and vehicles through this control point was suspended in the first half of the 21st of January. Over the 24 hours, 10 Ukrainian military were killed and 19 got wounded. The terrorists systematically ruined the infrastructure of Donbass and killed its residents. Yesterday, the terrorists of the bandit formation LMR shelled from mortars the 441st kilometer and gas distribution station of a gas pipeline, Northern Caucasus Center. It was really a miracle that the gas pipeline had not exploded. That could cause multi-thousand losses among the peaceful residents of Luhansk regions. Today in the morning in Leninsky district of Donetsk, in the southern part of the city, as a result of the shelling of a passenger trolley bus, peaceful residents have died. According to preliminary information, the shelling was done from the mortar mounted on a microvane. We emphasize that the closest positions of the anti-terrorist operation forces are in the village of Piski, so the location of the tragedy is out of reach of Ukrainian artillery of such type. Also, the gunmen have damaged the automobile bridge over the river Siversky Donets that joins the settlement of Stanitsa Luhansk and the city of Luhansk. Yesterday at 9:10 a.m. in the village of Orlivka, Yasenovata district, Donetsk region, during the artillery shelling by the illegal armed formations, a house was hit by a projectile that exploded. The owner of the house was killed. As a result of terrorist actions in Luhansk region, settlements Chornukhina, Sokilniki, Kryakivka, Tryokhizbenka are completely cut from gas supply, and partially Shasty and Krymska. The occupational power in the city of Sverdlovsk, Luhansk, occupational authorities in the city of Sverdlovsk, Luhansk region make the educational establishments to switch over to the educational standards of the Russian Federation. In particular, a 5-grade assessment system is introduced there instead of a 12-point, and the teaching of the history of Ukraine is banned. At the same time, the Ukrainian educational workers of the occupied part of Luhansk region from August do not get their salary and are heavily fined, and the school children cannot get documents about their education and to register for the independent external tests. The Security Service of Ukraine, together with other law enforcement bodies, has detained 12 abettors of the terrorists who were collecting and transferring to the gunmen the intelligence for the artillery shelling of the anti-terrorist operation forces position and the settlements next to them. In particular, the terrorists plan to shell the city of Volnovaha, Artemivsk, Lysychansk, Zolote, and the village of Krymsky. In Kharkiv region, a group of criminals was detained who produced and sold arms, and they confiscated 40 grenades and several thousand rounds of ammunition. Yesterday, the defenders of Donetsk airport were in need of an urgent blood transfusion, and besides 40 rescue service workers of Kiev region and the State Enterprise Mobile Rescue Center gave blood in the center for blood transfusion of the main military clinical hospital in Kiev.
Intelligence grouped together soldiers and together with the Odessa residents provided the blood to defenders of Donetsk airport. There is work to improve Ukrainian technical medicine. Yesterday, Fund of Defense of Ukraine was presented a reanimation vehicle which will be equipped with a group of doctors, and it will be sent to ATO area. The vehicle was bought, and the money was collected by citizens of Ukraine in the framework of the project Horobry Sertsia reanimation. The vehicle has two kinds of stretchers for soldiers with different wounds, and defibrillators, artificial ventilation of lungs equipment, and also to fixate over neck to transport wounded. Ukraine Patriots continue to support defenders of Ukraine. Yesterday, activists from Zhoty Vody provided to military men from armed forces of Ukraine a fixed, repaired armored vehicle, two cars, and some other cargoes necessary for them. The volunteers provided a unique, movable sanitary point on the base of Ural. It is a very good asset to drive it, and also it can work. It can use wood or electricity. Schools, teachers, and pupils of Gymnasium Bilovodsk provided to military men winter masking sets. They made on their own. Very soon, those things will be provided to Ukrainian armed forces. There is rotation. We continue rotation of our servicemen. Yesterday, from Rivne, soldiers from Rivne, they were in the east of Ukraine. They returned back to the dislocation base. Military repair crews, and they served to the equipment, and they accompanied military columns to ATO area. Well, they sent a united unit of Ternopil law enforcement officials, and they were provided with all the necessary means. The task of policemen from 10th Carpathian is to defend especially important strategic facilities. Yesterday, police in Kremlinsk gave their blood to a heavily wounded 8-year-old girl who suffered because of the shelling of militants in Volhysk, and also to a soldier from Siege Battalion who was wounded in Slovyansky last night. And in New York, there was a meeting of the Security Council, the UN Security Council dedicated to Ukraine. Yuri Sergeyev, a representative of Ukraine in the UN, asked the Russian delegation directly, what in Yurivka and Kumacheva does the battalion of the 76th Air Force Division from Pskov? What Hurivka and Peremorka, a battalion of separate Air Force Brigade from Ulyansk, what do they do there? What battalions of 76 separate motorized brigade from Akop and 49 from Starlopol, what are they doing there? Yuri Sergeyev stated that Ukraine is ready to sign an agreement on ceasefire in ATO, under the condition that Russia complies and militants they supported after they comply Minsk agreements. Commenting aggressive policy of Russian Federation, Foreign Minister of Ukraine told that Russian Federation concentrated along the Ukrainian-Russian border more than 50,000 Russian military men who are in the state of the full combat readiness, and they are dislocated very close to the territory of Ukraine, and they have necessary equipment and weapons. As before, they were close. Before they were not close to the border. Yesterday, Ukraine asked Russia to inform officially why they are there, dates of the tests, when they are, and also names and subordination and number and types of formations and units that participate in those tests. According to Vienna document on means to strengthen trust and security, Russia is obliged to provide explanation during 48 hours since the time when they received a request. It means today. At the administration of the President of Ukraine, there is now an open line, a hotline for relatives of ATO participants. Its number is 255-6955. It's on Monday, from Monday to Thursday from 9 to 6, and on Friday it's from 9 to 5. By using that telephone, citizens can receive consultations. It's to mobilization and the way to be mobilized, and they can complain to the work of military committees and coordinate activities to find military and civilians who are missing in ATO. They can get information about benefits to ATO and the participants of combat. So they can get information about the procedure, how to get a document of participants of combats, and also to get information about military men who are in ATO now. That's it. Now, if there is any question, you're welcome. Your questions, colleague.
How the mobilization is going, and can you tell us about the first results of this activity? According to the law and the decree of the President, we have launched the first part of the partial mobilization. Is going along the plan. People are summoned, people of respective age are summoned to undergo medical checkup and for the establishment of the level of the military specialty that they have. The process of mobilization is going on, but I'll tell you more. The initiative of young people who are following the events in the east of Ukraine almost online is very high. And I can tell you that within several days, another voluntary battalion was composed, numbering over 500 people from the public organization, the Cossack Troop of Ukraine. They are ready to go to the east in coordination with the Security Service of Ukraine and the Ministry of Interior, and this is a evident proof that our people do not hide from mobilization, but on the contrary, they display initiative in order to protect their homeland. Could you be more precise? You said that Ukrainian military are partially in control of the Donetsk airport, but what do they exactly control? So that you understand, the Donetsk airport is a huge territory, and both main terminals, both old and young, are destroyed. There are no buildings there that could be defended. There are some lesser buildings on the territory of the airport where our fighters are holding their ground. So we cannot say that we have completely withdrawn from the airport. This is a battlefield at the moment where the battle is going on even now. And our military do not withdraw, do not retreat. This is not just the case of an order of command, but this is our fighters display their patriotism and they want to protect their land. What about the losses, and what about the losses among peaceful population, and about Debaltseve, where there's information that a projectile hit the local police station? Well, we do not have exact information about losses among the casualties among the peaceful residents because we do not control those territories. Reuters TV, you said you said 19 wounded over the 24 hours. Does this number include the 16 who were captured by the at the airport, also besides the Donetsk airport, where active combat is going on at the moment? As for the wounded and captured, these are different numbers. 19 wounded is the general number of wounded fighters. It's the general number of those who take part in the anti-terrorist operation. As you see, the data is timely, and shelling and firing has broken out again in the morning in Stanitsa Luganska, in Shastya, in Donetsk airport, and also next to Debaltseve, and also near Avdiivka, Gorlivka, and Makiivka, Gorlivka, and in the south. Another two questions. I want to emphasize that the guys who were taken captive while they were wounded and they became hostages of the gunmen, they are not abandoned. There's an intensive negotiation process to get them back, and there's some success in this. We'll hope that we will get them back very soon. Is there an information about casualties on the trolleybus stop in Donetsk? No, we don't have any figures. I'm not ready to tell you. Any other questions? How many cyborgs have died in airport? We do not count them separately. The data about casualties is about the entire territory of the anti-terrorist operation. Any other questions? Are there official numbers of military who have died since the beginning of the anti-terrorist operation? I can't tell you at the moment, but if there's a need, we will prepare the figures by the end of the week. Another question about Donetsk airport. There was an information that our wounded and dead cyborgs could be left under the debris of the new terminal. Is there an opportunity to get them out? No, there's no such opportunity now because the battle is raging there and we cannot approach the site because of the combat. But yes, they could be left there. When the first opportunity arises, we will do everything to get